Hello everybody, it is Monday the 19th of March. Want to create a little bit of a shift in perception here. And that is that most Christians and anybody who's in the Judeo-Christian tradition would say that this is the Abrahamic Age and that it is the Abrahamic Age that is coming to an end. And it just came to me yesterday. I was watching a program about the Freemasons. I want to show you a few things here. We are not in the Abrahamic Age. We are in the Hermetic Age. The principles of Hermeticism are actually in the Judeo-Christian tradition. I want to show you this here. And I can also show you where the whole thing is going horribly wrong, and where the principles themselves are probably not wrong. I wouldn't throw them out. But there was, again, one wrong perception from which the whole thing is just being used in the wrong way. I will come to all of that. So, the Hermetic Age, the bringing of the Hermetic principles, the knowledge of the Hermetic principles. Okay, it was said it was Hermes Trismegistus, who was, by the way, a contemporary of Abraham. Yeah? So it came into being at about the same time. So that was the thought that spread throughout the known world at that time. Now, I'm not going to get into discussions whether Hermes was right, whether Abraham existed. I don't care. The important point is that these thoughts came into the world. Yeah? And they said Hermes was the scribe of the gods. Therefore, they get a knowledge and they write it in this world. So whether that was one person or many persons or whatever, I don't care. Only that this was a thought that is creating a reality. And it is the thought we need to look at, not the person. So, as I said, the whole thing just came to me yesterday because I was watching a program about the Freemasons. Yeah? Which is just another branch of the Hermetics. And yeah, the first principle, yeah, of mentalism. The universe is mind. The underlying field is mind. And, the created is mental, which I would fully go with at the moment. It is completely mental. So, and then they say they are, again, as I said, they are the master builders. They are the creators of reality. So how do they do that? Yeah? And it was said in the thing that I watched. First of all, they hold a conscious intention of their intended outcome. Yeah? And then they focus on its realness as an already existing fact. And then again, look at what I said is the central message in Christianity. Whatsoever you ask for in prayer, that is your conscious intention of an outcome. That means that is what you're asking for. You're asking for an outcome in prayer. Believe that you have received it. Focus on its realness as an already existing fact. Yeah? And then think, speak, and act as if it is already so. So everything, your whole being has to be in agreement. So you cannot, again, ask for something and then act in a different manner. It needs to be real for you. Believe that you have received it. Know it. They take an inspired action only as the means to make it tangible. So again, the action is is with the thought, the realness of what is happening. So thought, what you speak, and your actions are all according to you believe it's already received. And then they allow the perfection of the universal principle, all is mind, to work for them. It will be yours. So that piece in the Bible is actually based on the Hermetic principle. That is the working of a Hermetic principle. As I said, Abraham was said to have been a contemporary of Hermes. Yeah? And then Jesus says, I am the straight line from Abraham. Then Abraham was a Hermetic. And that is the straight line. I mean, I'm not saying that the messenger is completely unimportant. It is not. Because a new knowledge or a new thought, a new view of what we are and what we're in, will impact on an old thought and will mix up with that old thought. It always happens. So then if this new thought enters into another culture, it will get mixed up with the pre-existing thoughts of that culture. And then, although every culture will receive the same thought, it will create slightly different variations of that thought. So that's where then the cultural differences come from. But there we are. What Jesus taught in that saying, whatsoever you ask for in prayer, is a Hermetic principle. Straight line from Abraham, who was a contemporary of Hermes. So now, where does this all go belly up? Because it is going belly up. It's going terribly belly up at the moment. Right. And really, one of the main things is, especially in the Freemasons, but that thought is also in the Christian teaching. Yeah? And that is, again, the principle of cause and effect. The mastery of cause and effect by creating the cause. By being the creator of the cause. Yeah? So in the thing, again, now we're talking about the Freemasons, but it is everywhere. So, the Hermetics understand the art and method of rising above the ordinary plane of cause and effect. They elevate themselves above this reality, really. What an ordinary person would experience as reality, they rise above by various degrees. Again, there you have the degrees in the Freemasonry. How far are you detached from reality? I guess that's how you could say it, you know? So, they rise above the ordinary plane of cause and effect to a certain degree, and by mentally rising to a higher plane, they become causers instead of the effect. So they are the causers, we are the effect. Yeah? We are the ones that are experiencing the outcome, whilst they are above. And again, you see the top of the pyramid being detached from the bottom. It has risen above. Yeah? The masses of people are carried along obedient to environment. We are affected by the environment. They are not. They've risen above. Yeah? Outward causes moving them about like pawns on the chessboard of life. But the masters, rising to the plane above, dominates, again here, dominates, there's dominion, the word dominion. Their moods, characters, qualities, and powers, as well as the environment surrounding them. they are changing the environment. They have dominion over the environment. Look around you, folks. It's here. That principle is creating a reality through them. Okay? And so when they become the masters of the environment and everything surrounding them, and then they become the movers instead of the pawns, they help to play the game of life instead of being played and moved by other wills and environments. Yeah, so right. They are not being played, or at least they think they are not being played. They are being played, trust me. The masters use the principles instead of being their tools. The master obeys the course of the higher planes, obeys the higher planes, but they help to rule their own planes. Listen to this, yeah? The masters obey the causation of the higher planes, but they help to rule on their own plane. That is, they rule this plane that we're in. Right. And this is where the whole thing has gone belly up. They are not being moved by the causation of this world. Yeah, they're not. They've risen above that. But they now obey another one. I mean, so it's not like they're not pawns. They're still obeying another will, just not the will of this world. Yeah, so to say, well, we are completely free and we're not pawns and we're not being moved about. No, you are, just by a different will than the will of this world. But they think that is higher and greater than this. Yeah? And they're bringing the will of God to earth and the knowledge that they're being given. So, and here is really the whole thing, mind over matter, and that's where it went wrong. And that is the thinking again of the God of the Old Testament, the one that wants dominion over the earth, who's imposing its will on matter to be its master. And again, the voice that spoke out of Jesus, yeah, it's the two sides were both speaking out of him. But the one side said, knowledge was not given to rule over, but to serve. Here's the thing. And those who have the greatest knowledge should be the greatest servants to all. Now you tell me if they are our servants, them up there that have detached by various degrees from reality. Are they our servants, or do they serve another intention? Now, as I said in the beginning, in the book, when you look at the beginning, when God creates the world, yeah? And again, they would tell you it is mind over matter. It is mind ruling over matter. And I'm saying it is not. Again, shift your perception just slightly and say God did not clubber the world into being, but that it was a union, that it was an agreement between mind and matter. It was a marriage. And I would say if the underlying reality is love, then it was a union in love, a marriage of love. And that is what brought this world into being. And then think another thing, and that is, again, Greg Braden. I'm just putting lots of puzzle pieces together, yeah? But he says our DNA and I don't know exactly how he does it, you can look it up, but that the first lines of our DNA actually spell the words God in the body. God in the body, not above the body, in it. A union of mind and matter. And that is the God of this world. And his will has created, well, his intent, his desire has created nature. Now, the detached ones, everything they bring into this world mimics nature. Cell phones, aeroplanes, everything. The knowledge comes from nature, and then they create something that mimics nature. Technology is mimicking nature. Yeah? And now what they will bring up next, the next step, is they will take these bodies and they will implant something into them so that we will get connected to this great web. Again, technological web, where we will all be wonderfully connected. But when you think spiritualism, then this body is the machine through which you are already connected to everything else. Again, they are mimicking what is already existing. They're creating an image in technology, what is biologically already a fact. And then really tell me, yeah, when you look at biology and taking into account also the spiritual possibilities of this body, and you compare that with their technological copy, then tell me who is the greater. Which knowledge is the greater? The knowledge of the God of this world, that is in matter, already contained in matter, is that knowledge greater than the technological copy that they are creating? And to me, there's no question who's the greater. But we do not know. And that is because we are not. We're saying we're in the body. Actually, we're not. That is the whole problem. We are not in the body. We're not in it. And I mean, I heard Bruce Lipton, saying they made these measurements, and it's somewhere out here. And he says, thank God, I am not the body. I'm not in the body. No. That's a bad thing. You should be in the body to have the knowledge of God of this world. You should be a part of the body. You should have gone inward. Again, they haven't gone inward, they've gone outward to another plane. And now they are, what does it say? They obey the higher plane. And then saying that they're not tools. Of course you're tools, just of another God. So, this is where to my mind, this is where the whole thing has gone wrong. We've moved our minds, our consciousness in the wrong direction. Instead of inward into the body and having the knowledge of the God of this world, we've gone outward. And we see the outcome. We see what they create. We see what the God of this world creates in nature, in biology, in the spiritualism of this body. And we see what they create. It's here. It's all around us. We can see the fruit of that spirit. So, really, first of all, we must know what we're actually in, and that is what age we are in. And it is not the Abrahamic age, it is the Hermetic age. And then if you wanted to return to source, return to the 7, again, there's something with 7 heads, 7 Hermetic principles. And then really know what it is you are attached to. Who or what is God? What will are you doing? Which will are you following? And what are the fruits of that spirit? And there's one last thing, and that is, again, it is the 6th principle, the principle of cause and effect. It's funny in itself because 6 is the number of man. So, again, it says, every cause has its effect, every effect has its cause. Yeah? Everything happens according to law. There is a law. Again, Jesus saying, everything is possible. We are no longer under the law. No, everything has got its laws. Chance is but a name for law not recognized. There are no coincidences. It is just a law not recognized. There are many planes of causation, but nothing escapes the law. And that is something they should really tell themselves. Nothing escapes the law when they think themselves above, detached. Nothing escapes the law. There is a God of this world, and that God is good. I think he's still trying, this world is still trying in the knowledge, growing in the knowledge of itself. But its intention to give life, to give the experience of life, that all shall be given, that all shall thrive. The core intention of this world is good. And it has got its laws. And if you are here in the body, you will not escape the laws of this world. And the wages of sin are death. So I will leave it for that, but at this for today. Really, cause and effect, that is really what we need to start to understand in the source. And again, saying we are in an Abrahamic age is slight misdirection from the actual course. We are in the Hermetic age. It's the Hermetic principles. And you will see them in the Freemasons and the Alchemists in the New Testament. That is the principle of mentalism. And here is the 7 heads, the 7 Hermetic principles that have created this world. And then really, let's look at where have we gone wrong. And to me, it is the elevation, thinking yourself above everything else. Nothing is above, everything is a part of everything else. And then we start to go the right way. And this world might even teach us something if we're ready to learn. Anyway, I leave it at that, and I'll talk to you again soon. Bye.